Take a trip back to everyone's favourite tyrannical cities with these 10 moments every BioShock fan will remember.
Hallelujah.
You aren't ever going to forget the first time you played the BioShock series. Think of those hours you spent wandering Rapture and Columbia. Afraid, happy, or maybe a combination of both. And it's easy to see why it's ingrained in your mind's eye. From the depths of the ocean with shoals of fish passing by the window, to soaring cities in the clouds, BioShock shows that a failed utopia can find roots anywhere. But what are our most cherished memories, dreaded moments, and standout images from all 3 games? While I could have made this list infinitely longer, YouTube limits uploads to just 10 hours. So we're going to stick with these 10 moments in BioShock that really make it what it is, the best game ever made. No, wait, 10 moments that everyone remembers. That's what I promised to make.
Now, where'd you get that brand, boy? Don't you know that makes you the backstabbing snake in the grass false shepherd?
Let's kick off this list somewhere that makes sense. The start of BioShock. As you descend into Rapture for the very first time, with Andrew Ryan's words ringing in your ears, the underwater city rises up out of the depths to meet you. A whale passes below as skyscrapers rise up around.
The lighthouse is all lit up like hellfire. Looks like some kind of plane crash.
Even when replaying today, you can't help but still be met with a true sense of wonder. Like when you open a box of donuts for the first time. But of course, we couldn't balance this entry without its infinite counterpart when we first see Columbia bursting forth from cloud cover. Hallelujah. It's a stark contrast to the stormy seas and bleak lighthouse we left below. So, for a moment, you almost feel reassured. Both are incredible reveals, although it has to be said, stepping out into the streets of Columbia for the first time is a little more pleasant than gripping your wrench and creeping out into Rapture. That is, until...
Show 'em what we got planned, boys!
So that's how kids can wander around this nightmare without being terrified. The world looks different. And here was us thinking these little terrors were just hardier than us. BioShock 2's little sister vision is a true revelation as we see the world through their creepy eyes, Big Daddies and all.
Now I will do the same for all the others, starting with this one.
Of course, the experience comes about by being violently stabbed in true Rapture style, but the final outcome is still nice. The best part is, you can finally climb through vents, and no one tries to attack you, which is also a pleasant change. Splicers become well-dressed socialites, rubble on the floor becomes pillows, and pools of blood become scatterings of rose petals. Ah, lovely. And now for something a little less claustrophobic. Unless you look up, that is. BioShock 2 actually lets you out of Rapture. Yes, as the glass comes crashing in with the weight of water behind it, you realize the ocean has opened up before you and you can step outside. Other than a few leaks here and there, Andrew Ryan's failed paradise has always been pretty airtight. A bit like a city of good Tupperware. This meant it was a brilliant surprise to suddenly be on the outside looking in. Although it's not open to explore, this small jaunt gives you everything you need for your "I've walked on the ocean floor and survived" certificate. Here you can witness the inhabitants of Rapture go about their violent daily lives, walk beneath the shadows of sharks, and, most importantly, quickly find yourself back inside again. as if that is somehow comforting. Nothing sets the tone for the experience you're about to embark on better than a Splicer angle grinding its way into the very lift you're trapped inside. Especially after it just stabbed someone to death while you just stood there, wondering if you'll get the chance to equip a shoelace to strangle it with. BioShock's welcoming intro really isn't for the faint of heart. Luckily, your new pal Atlas is there to save the day as you watch the Splicer slink off into the darkness. But the lingering fear sticks with you, knowing you'll see it again.
How do you like that, mister?
The impact is only heightened, having come straight from the Rapture tourist board promotional video views of the cityscape. But the worst part, of course, is then having to step out of the only vaguely safe place you know so far and into the unknown. Well, you know at least one thing is out there, waiting to meet again. Whilst this moment isn't something everyone will experience while playing BioShock Infinite, for those that do choose to pick up the guitar, it's certainly a memorable one. That dusty instrument just innocently sitting on a chair delivers the kind of surprise that only video games can.
A guitar. Wish I knew how to play. Might dispel some of the gloom.
If you take a step back from combat to play for her, Elizabeth will start singing along in a hauntingly beautiful moment. It only lasts for a few seconds, but that doesn't mean it couldn't make the cut for this list.
Will the circle be unbroken by and by?
It's also the same song the choir sing as you begin the game, which makes it all the more meaningful. And if a snatched moment isn't enough, there is a complete Elizabeth version on the Infinite soundtrack.
Is a better home awaiting in the sky, in the sky.
He may have been saving a little sister, but the first time a Big Daddy jumps down to fight off a Splicer in BioShock, you're met with one more thing to worry about. A huge, groaning, and hand-with-a-drill thing.
That's the Big Daddy. She got it at him. He keeps her safe.
Unfortunately, when you do meet Mr. Bubbles later on, you have no choice but to pick between saving the little sister or getting that all-important Adam. Only Infinite's Songbird comes close to rivaling the Big Daddy when it comes to iconic BioShock foes, and it's easy to see why, even after all these years. You may have bullets and plasmids to throw at it, but the first Big Daddy fight is always nerve-wracking, with the sheer size and power setting them apart from your usual Splicer. Those eerie whale sounds still haunt me to this day. BioShock has a linear narrative, but there is one big decision that will only become apparent at the end of the game, and that's how you deal with pesky little sisters. Love them or hate them, it's still a nightmare to stare down at them wriggling in your arms and decide what to do. With Atlas telling you one thing and Bridget saying another, it's perfectly constructed to make your decisions hard.
I'll not have him hurt my little ones!
It's okay, lad. That's not a child. Not anymore, eh?
On one hand, you need Adam to fight off all the terror that lurks below, but on the other, she's still a little kid. The path of the righteous is not always easy as you give up valuable Adam. But neither is the guilt laid on you if you do decide to harvest. Sorry, Bridget. We did what lets us sleep at night. So I'm not saying Rapture was a good idea. There are, to say the least, a few flaws. But I did always want to experience it in its glory, when everything was good. Luckily, that dream became reality in BioShock Infinite's DLC when we stepped out of Booker's office and straight into pre-disaster Rapture. Here it stands in all its glowing underwater glory. Forget following Elizabeth, you'll want to explore it to the fullest, soaking up all there is to see with plenty of Easter eggs and foreshadowing for the first title.
What happened to these children? What are they?
Where have you been? Cabin in Arcadia? Little sisters.
You can even listen in on conversations of Rapture gossip, watch Big Daddies actually fixing things, and enjoy the first signs of things falling apart. You know what's coming, and you are here for it.
If I learned anything about Rapture, I thought it was a place where people understood to mind their own business.
Even dentists are scarier in BioShock. You walk into the almost innocuous office to see what you can find. It's seemingly empty. Cool, just another room to loot. Oh look, loads of steam. We've seen enough horror movies to know that this is probably a bad sign. Was that footsteps? Oh, there's a body on the dentist chair. That can't be good. And then there he is, the dentist that nightmares are made of, ready to bludgeon you to death and then probably remove all your molars to use as dice. While there are a few jump scares in BioShock, they are limited so you never quite come to expect them. The dentist moment always stands out as it lulls you into a false sense of security with that initial steam false alarm. What a cherished memory. Of course, we're going to end on BioShock Infinite's lighthouse reveal.
See? They're doors.
Doors to
Everywhere.
Surely this has to be the most memorable moment of all the games, as we see everything we know and love tied together, even adding another twist to the original. Here you step outside to face lights after lights as far as the eye can see. Step through another door and it's more lighthouses. Different, but the same.
We swim in different oceans but land on the same shore. It always starts with a lighthouse.
I don't understand.
At this point, Elizabeth helpfully starts sharing some multiple universe wisdom. But odds are you're just gawping at what's happening as your brain dribbles out of your ears. After experiencing this, infinite part of BioShock, you may need to lie down in a dark room and contemplate everything you just saw. Hey, on the up, it's really just a chance to play it all again. So that was our list of 10 moments BioShock fans will always remember. But with such a strong story across 3 games and the DLC, there are sure to be some scenes we missed. Let us know your favourites in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed, would you kindly give it a like? And subscribe to the channel for more lists just like this one. If you do already subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss when our next video pops up from below the sea or falls from the sky.